Have you ever noticed they don't say XRP out loud? And there's a reason for that. Now, behind closed doors, it's a different story. It's whispered about in back rooms, buried under NDAs, scrubbed from speeches, politicians, media, and even some crypto leaders. They avoid it at all costs. And it's not by accident, but by design here. The motives are layered, powerful lobbying ties, institutional moves hidden from public view, geopolitical reasons, and gatekeepers who protect their own position by trying to control the narrative. But that's breaking apart quickly. Meanwhile, Ripple is quietly layering the groundworks for something much bigger here, expanding the XRP ledger's reach, positioning for direct access to the banking system, and locking in legal clarity. It's locked in here. The law is final on this issue. Strategies are unfolding in plain sight, yet cloaked in silence, and the next moves are going to push XRP to new heights. You best believe it. Let's take a look at this. Now, what prompted this video was this comment on Mikkel's video. Why doesn't Trump or his sons or anyone, for that matter, mention XRP? It's almost like they dodge it on purpose. I think this speaks volumes of how important it is. They can't even mention it. That's what it means. This poster's absolutely right. It's no accident that they can't even say those three letters. XRP. It's not your imagination. The absence of XRP, political speeches, media coverage, and even people that are, really in depth in crypto, they just will not say it. This silence represents a complex web of strategic positioning. Part of it is lobbying for sure. You got big money in Bitcoin and Ethereum that are paying your CNBCs to push a narrative, all this kind of stuff. But also part of it is this is ingrained in the future of finance. And they're not going to go around talking about this stuff on the nightly news. This is on a need-to-know basis. And most people right now, they have no idea because it is so important. And that's the key. If it wasn't important, they'd be jibber-jabbering all over the place about this. This is kept from the public view because, again, it is going to be a pillar of finance as we go forward. Now, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Friday, August 15th, we're going to have a live stream on Jenna X's YouTube channel here. It's going to be Hugo and Santiago Velez. We got Flair, Zhao Dao going to be talking about the future of decentralization, DeFi, and DAOs. I hope you tune in and check it out. Link down below. Go ahead and subscribe to Jenna's YouTube channel and hit the notification so when this sucker goes live, you'll be there watching it with me. Can't wait to see what these three have to say. Now, this next post here, I promised to answer this question. This is from Adam Addict. And he says, I thought I knew what XRP was for, but then stablecoins came along, and I'm not sure what the new role is. It feels like it used to be thoughts of the ship moving the money, but now it seems like it's just fumes. I get it. Look, I'm not going to gaslight you and tell you there haven't been some pivots. And this will happen. I mean, we've seen this with Bitcoin, right? It's supposed to be about micropayments and all of this stuff. And now storage of value. Like there is some evolution here. But what's interesting with XRP, the original vision, if you hear those early Chris Larson videos, he says, you know what? The XRP ledger is for all the world's value. Fiat currencies, which are stable coins, tokenized gold, stocks, all this stuff. Throw it on the ledger. And really, XRP, the digital currency, plays this backup role. This bridge currency is what we call it now. That sounds a lot better than secondary backup role. But that doesn't mean it's not more valuable. It doesn't mean that it's not incredibly valuable. And I think some of this, of course, is when XRP really started going up in value and making everyone billionaires, I think they pivoted away from the original vision, the things that the XRP ledger was supposed to do, and they focused just on XRP because they really wanted to maximize that. And what they found is other people took their ideas of decentralized exchanges, tokenized assets, stablecoins, and they ran out to a big lead. You're not going to have a less valuable XRP by having more features, more capability, more transactions, more interesting assets on the XRP ledger. This is just going to build up transactions, build up volume, and build value over the long time. There is nothing to fear by having more assets on the ledger, by having more capability, by tapping in directly to the Federal Reserve balance sheet. These are all good things for the ecosystem, for XRP, the token, the ledger. It's built with XRP as its native trustless bridge asset. Stablecoins, they don't make Bitcoin any less valuable. We see Bitcoin still roaring to new all-time highs. You need decentralized cryptocurrencies without a counterparty. Stablecoins don't replace that need, but they do some utility functions better than cryptocurrencies because they have no volatility. It's just more utility, more transactions on the XRP ledger. This is nothing to fear. If anything, it's a return to the original vision of this blockchain, what it would be for, what they would build with it. More rails, more volume, same mission here, people. This is a return to greatness, nothing less than that. We have this. This is really interesting. We have Colin Crane 3125, and he says the real turning point will be when Ripple obtains their banking license charter. That will be checkmate, and I agree. That's going to be a big one here. Direct banking access, custody and clearing. There's no when you have Federal Reserve connections here, there's no intermediary, there's no risk. It's as close to risk-free as you can get on a stable coin, and it's direct integration. It's the Trojan horse of crypto, having that direct fiat on-ramp there where you can have value move easily onto the blockchain, which you can trade into XRP, trade into other decentralized assets, and also off when you want to cash out, when you need that value for the real world to pay your rent, to buy a Bentley, to pop some bottles. You can do so easily. See, this makes everything more usable, and that's the big one here. You can't see it down below, but 7Dennis123 says he believes XRP will flip in Ethereum this year. I'll tell you this, I don't think that, but it definitely ain't impossible. It's happened before, and you darn sure it could happen again. We'll see it play out. I'm not going to say that 7Dennis123 is wrong, that it cannot happen, but it doesn't need to happen. If we just close that gap and crypto is growing, we're going to have so many gains. It's just all kind of silliness here. It's not going to matter if you pass Ethereum. If you do, it's icing on the cake. Who cares? We're talking about massive growth in crypto, and XRP is going to be a leader. And if, again, it just closes that gap to Ethereum during a time of growth, the gains are going to be more than enough to be happy with here. And lastly, I put, will BlackRock file an ETF now? I think that they will. We'll see it play out. We've heard reports they don't plan to. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. I just don't think they want to telegraph what they plan to do here. But make no mistake, I think you'll see BlackRock and Fidelity both rush in here with their own applications before too long. Now, we have this. Brad Garlinghouse, where is he? I posed this question. I said, it's kind of weird. We had the official end of this case, and Brad Garlinghouse, well, he's missing. We haven't heard from him. Well, Tim Webb here said the following. I think they may be moving to a policy where Stu is the only one who speaks on legal issues, much like David only speaks about the technology. And this is kind of a sensible layout of things. Before they were in a time of war, they were fighting the U.S. government. It was all hands on deck, everyone, everything they had going at regulatory issues. But I think he's right, this commenter here. We're going to have a separation here. Stu, he's going to talk about the legal front, ensuring messaging remains precise and consistent across all channels. David Schwartz, well, he's going to focus on the technicals, developing an innovation in the roadmap for this technology. And then Brad Garlinghouse and really Monica Long too will drive strategic partnerships, institutional adoption, and really the long-term vision for Ripple, the company. It makes sense, this little breakdown they have, and I think that Tim Webb is absolutely right. And we heard from Dennis XRP here where he said, look, he's not totally silent. Like, yes, he reposted Hester Peirce's tweet the other day talking about the end of this case. Like, he's active. He's just not going to jump in here and do the messaging for legal issues. They're just going to let Stu do it. And I think that is a great observation here. I brought this thing up that I thought the case would end by August 15th. And Zaf32 said the following. Every time XRP YouTube influencers mention specific dates, nothing typically happens. Take this with a grain of salt. And look, 100% agree. And I'm not immune to that. I'm probably worse than the next, coming up with wild ideas, wild theories. And I try to own it because I'm constantly wrong on that kind of stuff. I'm just doing my best to guess. But was important here, if you paid attention, I wasn't saying that would happen. Former regional director Mark Fagel said he felt that the case, the appeal, would be dropped by both parties before August 15th. It was just sensible, from his experience as a regulator. Why continue to make filings in an appeal you're going to drop anyway? So that was really the key here. Not that it was my opinion, that it was a former regional director's opinion that this thing would be all over Red Rover. It was a great trading opportunity there if you took it. know who to listen to. I'm definitely no guru, that's for sure. Want to end with this. This was on Blockchain Backers channel here, and this is from Damo5791, and this is really, I think it captures how we all feel. He says, "Let's go, blockchain backer. We're almost there. So close now. 8 years holding, tired, bruised, and ready for the finish line." Now, we're still standing. We're a little bruised. I'll tell you this, there's no finish line, though. This is a lifelong endeavor. Investing in crypto and AI and emerging technologies, great. But the finish line where you can pull some chips off, some lifestyle chips, as Raul Paul will say, and change your life, yeah, I think we're getting there. We're finally going to get those gains we deserve. And there's a lot more ahead that we can grow into. And this is going to be an explosive asset as we go forward. But it's a finish line of sorts where we can claim some victory. And, you might be one of these people. I saw another reply here where the person says, "I'm never going to sell my XRP." That's fine. It's up to each individual what you want to do. Selling good cryptocurrencies has never really turned out to be a long-term great mission. But at the same time, you might want to pull some money off the table, change your life, do some good things. Yay for that, whichever way you want to approach it. But I think we got some good growth here on the short horizon. We're so close. I can taste it. I hope you can as well. Lastly, until Monday, the 18th, Ledger right now, they have a deal going on. If you need a new hardware wallet, and I can tell you times get crazy during bull runs, specifically at the end of bull runs, where you're like, oh no, there's always that time. We had that last time with FTX and Terra Luna and all this stuff where I didn't even trust Coinbase. Like, things were crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again. Make sure you self-custody your crypto. Ledger right now, they have some great deals. If you want their flagship model there, the Ledger Stacks, you get $80 in free Bitcoin with your purchase. You get these little cards, and you don't have to keep Bitcoin. You can trade that into Flare or XRP or something else. The Ledger Nano X, that's the device that I use. It's $149, but you get $50 free of Bitcoin. If you're going to buy a hardware wallet, now's the time to act. This is a great deal here. Get yourself some Bitcoin. Keep yourself secure. If you want to help the channel, affiliate link down below. Don't have to click it, but I get some kind of kickback off of this if you do. Thank you for supporting the channel. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.